Welcome to Odd Man Rush this week. So the Edmonton Oilers are just having a bit of a prolonged break after a string of less successful games out east. They did come up with a 1-0 shootout win on Sunday over Montreal, and next up we're facing the Blackhawks on Saturday. In other highlights, well, this week's been pretty quiet hockey-wise, but we are approaching the trade deadline slowly but surely. Rumors are picking up steam, and Brandon Davidson's the name that you don't stop hearing these days. Oilers Rig writer Alex Thomas found a Davidson for Brian Boyle whisper that you can read about on our site at theoilersrig.com, and that's pretty much what's caught my attention so far this week.
What's caught my attention, you know, we're a fickle bunch. We get a little stir crazy without hockey, that's for sure. And yesterday on Twitter, Connor McDavid shared a troubling picture to us who like to worry for his young well-being, and it was him with a girl in Ontario, and that's my highlight for the week because I'm a little nervous for him, and this is a message to the anonymous blonde young lady who's stolen his heart. Treat it right, because if you break his heart, you're going to have a whole city on you. So keep that in mind. That's my highlight.
I would say my highlight has to go back to the Carolina game. It has nothing to do with the players. It's actually the equipment guys on the bench staying on task when I believe it was McDavid broke his stick and didn't have to wait very long at the bench. The equipment guy was all over it. Perfect pass right to McDavid, and then I guess he went in and scored. But my highlight has to be the guys on the bench.
Then I guess he went in and scored.
I guess
Is
he
there
went in
any
and
doubt?
scored.
Awesome. So thank you guys for coming to join us this week. This week we are thrilled to be joined by Brett and Alex. So Brett, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up here?
I ended up here because I bribed every human in the vicinity. I do the post games over at OilersRig.com. That's where you'll find me mainly is post games covering all that. And I'm here just to talk some Oilers and all sorts of interesting topics on the docket today.
What about you, Alex?
Well, for me, I'm a follower of the blog, and I know some people associate with the blog. I'm a teacher, so I feel like I might be at a little bit of a disadvantage today, not writing about the Oilers, but
this way you can educate us about them, right?
Sure, I'm gonna try. No, I'm a passionate Oilers fan, even though it can be troubling at sometimes. But that's just kind of what got me here, is follower of the blog and passionate fan.
How long have both of you guys been fans of the team?
Since birth, pretty much. That there's no bandwagon jumping with me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've lived here for 21 years, so about 21 years, I would say.
Where did you live before that? Did you change allegiances midway through your childhood?
I might have. I was a Winnipeg Jet fan. I lived in Winnipeg when the true franchise was there.
Wow.
And now they broke my heart when they moved, and I just haven't been able to go back. So no, I've been an Oilers fan for a long time.
Awesome. Yeah, myself as well. My parents tell stories of taking me to games when I was very young and too young to know where I was, and therefore cried through the entire thing. I don't know if they were the smartest of hockey fans, but I got to go, so that's kind of cool, I guess.
You have to love their passion. That's tremendous passion.
Yeah, it definitely turned a switch for me, though. I got dragged to my brother's hockey games when I was younger, and I used to just take bags of books so I could sit in the stands and pretend I didn't want anything to do with hockey. Eventually stopped resisting it. But we did used to tell also my brother that he wasn't allowed to be an Oilers fan because he was born in Calgary.
Ooh.
So you're lucky.
Well, family rifts, those are always fun.
So are you guys excited about anything coming up for the trade deadline? Looking forward to things?
Always. I mean, even when how many seasons in a row now? There's been nothing at the trade deadline. You watch Trade Center and it's just like Jay and Dan saved it for how long. But this year where we actually have a chance to do something meaningful in the playoffs, of course. Now I'm like really excited. Even if we picked up like Verbata, like just a right wing, I'm going to be like, I'm sure Oilers fans will just explode on Twitter. Like, this will be the guy to get us through the playoffs. This will be the guy. So, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time that I can remember, the Oilers are actual buyers instead of waiting for teams to attack them and ravage the team. It's nice to be in a position where they may make some moves, but they are capable of making a big move that could prolong their playoff run. And so that has been 10 years, 11 years since we've really been in this position. So
Since Rollison, really.
Pretty
that
much,
was our
yeah.
last big trade deadline acquisition.
we don't want to talk about like Whitney or,
Yeah, we don't. So we'll just
Yeah,
move on
let's
from
just
Yeah,
move
it's
that.
probably
that,
best
yeah.
for our health.
Okay, so now we're going to move on and start getting into our feature. Are both of you ready for the shootout?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it on. Let's go.
Feeling like it? All right, coming up next, we'll be moving on to the shootout this week. On the shootout this week, Brett and Alex are going to be at the mercy of the Oilers' rig coach, also known as, randomly, assorted cue cards. Rather than telling us what they think, they're going to be told what they think. And then they're going to have to argue it. You guys ready? So here's how this works. I will ask a question that you did get to see beforehand, but I don't think either of you brought, stacks of paper. You will take turns drawing a couple cards to find out which of two answers you get to argue. You do get a little bit of choice, but not a ton. There's a limit to how many cards I have. Some answers are great. Some might be a little bit more challenging. It doesn't really matter. You just have to go for it. You got to take that card like it's a game-winning puck and try to get in the other team's net. Not a stretch of a metaphor at all, right? Right?
No.
So you'll have 10 seconds each to give an opening statement after you've done the draw. I'll give you some time to argue it out, and I'll see who I think is winning. And then you'll get a 10-second closing statement as well. Heckling's allowed, moderately encouraged. And I will announce a winner based on whatever criteria I feel like that round. Think of anything that's funny, you want to be rude, whatever you'd like. It will change each round. Everyone ready to go?
Let's do it.
Certainly.
So I will take my first deck. And our first question is, what should the Oilers prioritize at the trade deadline? So we have 5 cards here. And Brett, why don't you choose 2 of them? I know it ruins your odds a little.
It's all right.
The next 2 for Alex. The remaining 1 answer. All right, Brett, 10 seconds for your opening statement.
It's pretty obvious where the Oilers need to go this trade deadline, I would say, and that is to slot a nice winger who can shoot and score right beside McDavid so that we can get Draisaitl back where he belongs.
I got an easy one. It's defenseman. Everybody's talking about it. I know who I would go and get. This is going to be easy.
Excellent to hear. All right, guys, have your discussion.
Before you even say it, if you say Kevin Shattenkirk, I'm telling you, because this guy, he can't defend anymore. He's struggling on St. Louis. They're already putting
Everybody's struggling on St. Louis.
Yeah, but he's just not. We could supplement any offense he'd bring and then some if we brought in a guy like Verbata. Like, this guy shoots, he scores. McDavid needs him. McDavid needs a winger.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't say that. I think Draisaitl has found a spot exactly where he needs to be. Your target needs to be defenseman. Yes, Shattenkirk is a logical target to go for. I mean, if you look at what they've brought in, even bringing in Shattenkirk could put pressure on the defensemen that they have who are up on 1-year contracts or their terms are coming to an end. It makes sense to get a proven performer.
But are you comfortable leaving like Kajula in the third line center spot?
Absolutely.
He's a rookie.
He's a center.
Yeah, but he's a rookie. Draisaitl's a center.
Yeah, but Kajula you wouldn't want on the wing with McDavid.
He would be better as a... No, he doesn't have to go there. He could slot in and platoon with like Puljujärvi. Because if Draisaitl goes there, then you're good. And then you bring in I love... You know what? Maybe I just have a man crush on Verbata. I don't know what's going on.
I think
right now,
that's possible. The problem is that if you do that, you're still putting way too much pressure on Sekera, and you're putting too much pressure on Clefbaum and Larson. If you get that, I mean, Shattenkirk's easily top 2.
Yeah, but look at the cost to get him too. He'd have to give up a first and second. Who
Could be
knows
a
what?
rental.
Oh.
We've already given them 3 players. Why not go for another one?
Well, I mean, I get that, but you got Nurse
They're
coming
selling.
back. You got Benning there. Have you seen Adam Larson play lately? That right side is stacked. Those two make up the bulk of the right side. We're good.
All right. So I'm going to interrupt there. I think I know which way I'm leading, but just in case, let's see. I'll give you the last 10 seconds to try to change my mind.
My last 10 seconds is go to HF boards or Hockey DB and just look into a picture of Radim Verbata and tell me you would say no to those eyes. Tell me you would say no.
Okay, My closing statement has to be around even just the guy's name in general. I mean, Shattenkirk, it just works on so many levels. And Verbata, that's terrible.
All right. So despite the weakness of your closing statement, I think I'm going to give the first 5.5 points to Alex for his emphatic hand gestures and the fun that it is to say Shattenkirk.
It's true.
All right, I'll grab these for you.
Like your man crush. It's terrible.
Maybe if you'd brought a picture, we would all
Yeah,
feel
He
it.
has one. He has to.
Just in your wallet.
My phone's broke. It's a sad day.
Okay, our next question. So the Oilers are down to 2 jerseys next year, as everybody is. Which one do you think absolutely needs to stay and maybe should take over for just all time, the one single one? So for this, we have 4 cards. Alex, why don't you take the 2 first?
Sorry.
There we go. There's yours, Brett. 10 seconds.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
I have to start. Okay. I had blue and orange. I'm going with blue. Those orange things are too much. I personally think they should even bring in the logo from the WHA, do kind of a retro look there. Smart.
22 years in Edmonton has taught me anything. It's that this city will do anything for a hockey savior, and that includes buying a jersey with Connor McDavid's face on it. Their new hockey lord.
All right, guys, go ahead.
There's no way I'm buying a jersey with McDavid's
You tell
face
yourself
on it.
that, but then you see it.
I don't need to tell myself
No,
that. I've
because
already convinced myself.
You convinced yourself, but I think this might, this goes back to the Winnipeg thing. You're telling me you wouldn't walk down White Avenue and you've got a nice
No.
big picture of Connor McDavid. There'd be high fives flying.
No, I
Imagine
wouldn't.
going to the bar with that. Women, I mean, hey, there you go. Like that's
Fair point. However, there's no, because you probably would want it to be orange or something. There's no way.
Yes.
There's no way I'm buying a jersey with his face on it. Listen, I am the first to support him. He's the future of the franchise. But listen, the logo has to stay.
Put it on the shoulder. Put the original logo on the shoulder.
No, we're
and
not
then-
doing a Calgary Flames thing with the flag.
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
Don't do
That'll
that.
be
No.
our new flag. And then, here's the thing. You say cut down on costs, right? We're thinking of costs. We're thinking of budget. We want to make as much money as
We're
we
not
want
thinking of
from
that
this
now.
jersey.
We
think
just build
of
a huge arena.
This doesn't even have to be any color. It could be white. It could be beige. It could be the cheapest fabric that China's got, and then you just put it into the jersey and slap McDavid's face on, and it could be a sticker. It doesn't even have to be the iron-on
A sticker.
patch.
So now we've moved from a crest to a sticker.
It doesn't
matter. I'm still saying you got to go back to the blue.
McDavid will sell jerseys, and
He already sells jerseys with his name on. He doesn't need his face on.
No, we could have, and then you high five people. It's just this is
All
a
right.
new direction.
So I think, again, I pretty much know where I'm going to go with this. But just in case you bring up something magical and new, 10 seconds, Alex.
Blue is the true color of the Edmonton Oilers, not someone's face.
Go into the mirror and just visualize yourself, but then maybe print out a picture and cut out McDavid's face and just put it right there. And tell me you wouldn't want that as your jersey. Just tell me.
All right. Well, Alex, I think you were a little bit biased by your current shirt color as well.
I knew
but
I
you
lost
know it's
that
going to be
one.
Connor McDavid.
Oh, there you go. See?
People are already making their own T-shirts with his face on it.
It's the
Just
way
takes
of the
that
future.
step up.
It's the way McDavid is the city.
Okay, I'm going to give you, how about 13 points, Brett, for that?
That sounds fantastic.
97, actually. 97 seems more appropriate.
That's
So you're in the lead,
I got some
just
work.
by a little.
I got some work ahead of me here.
So our next question.
Oh.
Which
Yes.
city should get an NHL team next? We know we have Vegas coming up. Las Vegas, Vegas, take your pick. But who's going to be the next one in the future? All right, so Brett, take 1 card, or take 2 cards, sorry. And Alex. 10 seconds.
Well, my argument is going to be of a source of almost pity, sort of almost empathy. The next city that needs an NHL team is Red Deer, and there is no doubt.
The fleur-de-lis will fly again. My pick is Quebec City, hands down. They're ready for it. Let's go.
All right, I'm excited. Let's go for it.
Alex, have you been around the towns in Red Deer like Bentley and Lacombe?
I've lived
and
there.
Blackfalds? You've lived there, so you know the small towns. What do those people have to do? I've raced horses there. There's nothing to do in Lacombe. There's nothing to do in Black Falls. I pity these people. I pity them horribly. They need... I feel so
They
horrible.
move. That's what they do. They go to either Edmonton or Calgary.
Yeah, but what about these people that are stuck there? I feel so horrible for them. And Red Deer, it's...
No.
Yeah, it doesn't have a ton of population, but it's got a bridge or two, and that signifies a city of some magnitude.
No, you gotta go with the traditional beauty of Quebec City, the city of ice, the city of lights in Canada.
They already lost a team.
Yeah, so did Atlanta. They've lost it twice. That's an argument that doesn't work. Quebec City has repaired itself and repaired its reputation. And they're ready. Listen, if Winnipeg can do it, yeah, I'll bring the Winnipeg argument into it again. Quebec City is built ready for a team again.
Quebec City has they've got a wall there, and they've got art, and they've got culture. Red Deer doesn't really have that. They don't have a lot going for them.
Red Deer
give
has
them something.
Red Deer has a unique farming culture. I will concede that. However, Quebec City, they can rewrite history right now. They're ready for it. They have the buildings in place. Don't even talk to me about the Centurium and Red Deer. Quebec City is ready to go.
Look, Red Deer people are wild and they're rambunctious, and the Centurium, you could jam 16,000 people in there.
You're saying people in Quebec aren't crazy about hockey?
No, but I'm saying in Red Deer we could make it happen. Imagine the spirit of a 10,000 seat building holding 16,000 fans.
I'll tell you.
Red Deerians.
I'll tell you right now. You'll never be able to replace the Rebels, no matter how hard you try. You need to go where the hockey is ready to be played, and that's not in Red Deer at a professional level. That's in Quebec City.
Define professional, but anyways.
Okay, we're going to give you your last 10 seconds to wrap up. Brett, go ahead.
I've been holding back tears this whole time, just thinking of how bad I feel for the people in Central Alberta, and how we, as more gifted, these big cities, we should be giving back to them and give them a team.
They'll get over it. Quebec City is a city of history, a city of making history, new history, city of ice. It's got to be there.
All right, so my judgment. My parents are from Red Deer. I'm just going to have to say that hearing an entire argument based around how sad you feel for that city maybe wasn't the best strategy. So we're going to give Alex a whole 91 points, bringing him in within shooting distance again for the last round.
Yeah.
That one backfired, I think.
Well, you go all in, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you just regroup. So
at least you took a stance. And our final and deciding round of the shootout. What's been dragging the Oilers down this year? You ready? So for this one, actually, we're going to do something really fun. Whichever two you draw, you have to argue for a combination of those two.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 10 seconds.
My cards are the abuse that Milan Lucic has been receiving on Twitter from Twitter fans loyal to the Edmonton Oilers. So my argument is going to be that Lucic deserves better treatment.
My argument is simple, and it's that the duo of Eberle and Nugent-Hopkins just hasn't been cutting it at all, and so, time for them to step it up.
Okay, they don't even play together.
But they've been together. They've been together in the past, and they.
But what about now?
Listen.
How can they be dragging them down? They're not even on the same line.
Here's how they're dragging them down. They don't get points anymore. That's kind of an important thing for forwards. And actually, before we carry on, we can get into points and plus minus and all this sort of thing. Have you seen Nuge's creepy mustache and beard going on? First he couldn't score, then he grows that thing, and it's like, what? How is that not dragging and demoralizing to his teammates that have to look at it?
It's been noted on Twitter.
It's been noted on Twitter for sure. And then he doesn't score again. So he's either dragging the team down with his lack of offense or looking like Uncle Creepy. And then you combine that with Eberle who can't score, and it's a black hole.
See, it's too easy with Lucic because he's being blamed for everything. And I understand, he's a multi-million-dollar man and he's not performing the way that people are expecting him to, and well, I don't know what people were expecting him to do. He's not an offensive threat, but it's too early to tell because his time to shine is always in the playoffs. So he's been dragging the team down because his performance is lackluster. He's not. What is he making? $7 million a year.
Yeah, but with
there's
Lucic,
no way he's doing that.
You know, intangibles, grit, and all that stuff, and that counts for
He
something. So
he
he's
has
good.
that.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying, and so he can't be dragging the team down. Like, what does Eberle or Nuge do? Like, they don't, you know, they're not that. They're not that.
They are fixtures in the community of Edmonton.
Oh well, you know that's.
They are looked up to by our young people. They don't look up to him.
Well, I think they do look up to Lucic. Lucic is like a big warm teddy bear. Like what you
That's
go
a
to
scary
El
look.
Toro-
That's a scary looking teddy bear, man.
Well, no, but he's
There's
like
no way.
he's
There's
like
no
this
way.
intimidating. Like
Those two look like they're 12. They're perfect for
yeah, they
for a
look like
family
they're
audience.
12, and they look like they're 12 to like the Shea Webbers of the world who just take them down, and you know. And
But with Twitter fans, okay, like listen, people,
discourse is fine.
Yeah, but you need to get off of get off of Chiarelli, okay? Okay, maybe it's his fault that he brought him here. I don't know. But the thing is that you can't be targeting, everybody else. I mean, Lucic is the problem.
Twitter's just awful. You can ignore it. Just log off, and you don't even have to look at
But
Twitter.
nobody does that.
Well, because we're all insane. But that's a whole different problem. That's a whole different thing. That's not dragging the Oilers down. What's dragging the Oilers down?
It's dragging the morale down for sure. Those two.
You think they're looking at that?
Lucic must have a fragile.
You
some
think
sort of
Lucic is fragile?
Personality. When it's on Twitter, he is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, guys. So we're going to move on to your last closing statements.
You can.
You want me to take this one?
Listen, you can go first.
Lucic hasn't been doing what he's supposed to be doing at all. He's not worth the money, and on Twitter, people are speaking the truth.
Eberle was supposed to score with McDavid. He can't. Nugent Hopkins hasn't been scoring. He hasn't been doing anything. And plus, they threw in that really creepy beard, which is definitely affecting the teammates. I can just see it in their eyes. They're looking at him going like, what the heck is this thing? And that, if you tell me that doesn't demoralize the team and drag them down, well, you know.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for those enlightening arguments. At this point, though, I am going to give all of my points to our remaining option, Hunter the Lynx. Just because it's really fun. Shout out to Avery from last episode.
Bested by the Lynx again.
Bested by the
cat
Lynx.
thing.
Yeah. So what that means is that Brett is going to be our very first ever shootout winner by a whole 1.5 points. Congratulations.
But we go way back, so that's got to be worth at least 2 points.
You're right. That's true.
Well, no,
Sorry, Brett.
Well, no,
it's a tie.
No,
it's a tie. No one will win. You'll get imaginary prizes forever.
Well, that's
and we'll all remain friends. Except, apparently, I don't think you're going to be friends with Nuge anytime soon now.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't.
He's not returning your calls anytime soon.
We all, when we're all adolescent, and even me, I tried to grow a mustache. I look the same. It's this. We all look like Uncle Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Early 20s.
I think it's too late. You've already burned those bridges.
I love little Nugie. That's a problem.
Well, thank you so much both for participating in this episode of The Shootout. And don't worry, we still have something for you to vote on Twitter.
I'm a goat.
Okay, so this week we'd like you all to vote on who you think is the greatest of all time GOAT, not the scapegoat like we were talking about in the last little bit. We might even write a feature on the winner, so pick carefully. Our guests and I have each picked a nominee for this round, and we'd like to know what you think. So this week we're talking about current Oilers. Let's stay positive in the hopes that our team is trending up, and I get to go first, so I'm going to take the easiest option and pitch Connor McDavid. I don't really even have to pitch Connor McDavid. Other than that, after our shootout, I would really like a jersey with his face on it. So I think that we can't really be in any disagreement. Connor McDavid is definitely this year's GOAT. Brett.
I'm tempted to say Andre Sekera because he's got two of the greatest nicknames ever. Shin Pad Assassin, big, sexy, like punderful nickname. But I'm going to go with Adam Larsson. This guy, he's stepped in for... from the trade of Taylor Hall, he who shall not be named. But he's been fantastic. He's been absolutely, especially since December and even into the new year. His last minus game, aside from the Nashville game that we just had where we lost, his last game where he was a minus was December 9th. Now, plus minus is a broken stat, but for a defenseman over that long period of time, it's incredible. The guy hits like a Mack truck. He's fantastic. Watch him play. He's my GOAT for this week.
I would say that my GOAT would have to be Cam Talbot. The way that he's been playing since game one, has been, a remarkable upturn from last season, even though he had good games last year. Some of the things that strike me with Cam Talbot is I see kind of almost the aspects of Dwayne Rollison from years past, where you see kind of that commanding presence in the net where even when the Oilers are losing, Talbot finds a way to keep him in it with some ridiculous saves. But he's a workhorse, almost at the same level as like a Holtby or a Kiprasov from all those years ago, where he'll play in like 70 games. And so I think that Talbot deserves the recognition for the greatest of all time at this moment.
Apparently he's on track for like 73 games.
It's ridiculous.
Incredible.
So let us know on Twitter, who do you think is the Oilers' GOAT in a good way? The Oilers Rig will have a poll up for you at the Oilers Rig. Check us out on theoilersrig.com or find us on Facebook or Twitter to join the debates. And other than that, we'll see you around next time. I'm Kelin Flanagan, and thanks for watching.